Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm thinking about Yusuf. I'm thinking, must be thinking of some
I
football
became
player.
Yusuf. Okay, I'm Yusuf apparently.
You're funny, man. Hey, this weather is crap, man. It's so hot, and my brains have gone for a toss, man. I don't know how you guys are feeling about the heat wave.
Oh, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Sid, because my brain was going yesterday as well. So don't feel bad about that. Happy New Year, guys. All the best for
You too,
2025.
bro.
Yeah, happy New Year's to you guys.
You
I mean,
too.
but belated New Year's. Sorry, New Year's is really gone. My
Belated,
brain is
belated,
gone.
but yeah.
All right, I'll start with you, Yuvraj. And
Uh-huh.
I know you had a lot of delightful things to say about India. So why don't you just give us some of your thoughts on the 3-1 winning by Australia?
Ah, remember when you asked us for predictions? My initial thing was 4-1. If the rain comes in 3-1, it could even be 3-0, I thought. Australia, let's face it, they didn't play at their best. So India managed to win one. But my personal opinion is the team that India selected when they went, very simple. I think they went there to lose. That's simple. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that last test, uh, all the indications were there. Bumrah getting injured. It's like, change the bowling attack. Come on. Navdeep Saini, Prasid
Mm.
Krishna, get rid of Siraj. Didn't do it. And here we are. That's all
Okay,
I got to say on it.
Avish, your thought?
I think India got what they deserved in the end, guys. I'll be honest with you. Team selection. I mean, you're premier fast bowler. You bowled into the ground. You bowled into the ground. 5 tests in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, uh, they didn't change things up. I think the attack was a bit predictable at times because what Australia essentially did was just see out Bumrah with
Mm-hmm.
as less damage as possible and go after the others. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the selection was a bit puzzling at times. I mean, this was a batting lineup that really underperformed, and I think they did a lot of disservice to Bumrah, which I think on Australian shores this is probably the best performance by any overseas bowler in Australia, like ever. This was a Herculean performance from
Mm-hmm.
Bumrah, and unfortunately, the body took its toll and he broke down. Unfortunately, these things happen in cricket. 5 test series, it happens. I mean, Australia, they had good. They had guys chipping in from all sides. I mean, look at Boland. Boland to me has been a revelation of the series. I mean, coming in as a reserve. Let's be honest. If Hazelwood did not get injured, Boland would not have got the opportunity
Mm.
to play the series, and he's turned out to be the
Mm.
main man for Australia on the
Mm.
series. I mean, 20 wickets in 3 test matches at a crazy average as well. I think it's about 11 or
Mm.
12. I mean, that's insane, guys. I mean, India couldn't hit this guy. India could not hit this guy at all.
Mm.
So I know we were talking about predictions in November about the series. So
Mm. Mm.
I kind of nailed one in my mind, eh? Because I was saying 3-1. I did think this test match at Sydney would be a draw. I
Mm.
thought India would
Mm.
win at Melbourne, and I thought the first
Mm.
three would be difficult. But however, they got us all wrong. They won the first one on Perth, which I thought was going to be the
Mm.
most difficult one for them, and they ended up winning that one. But this
Mm.
this was the game that I thought you could possibly get a draw. But
Mm.
guys, what's your take on the pitch? I thought it was a spicy, spicy meatball in Sid's famous words. This was this was a really spicy pitch, man. I mean, lasting for 2.5 days. I think the groundsman could have done better. Yeah.
No, I liked
Uh,
it. I liked it.
mhm.
I loved it because that's what we want in Test cricket. If you're not good enough to survive top quality fast bowling, you should not be playing Test cricket. Simple as that.
So you don't think it was as delightful as Cape Town?
Absolutely. So don't
Hey,
go
you
there.
Raj?
Don't go
I
there,
liked
Sid.
it.
I'm sorry.
I I, I liked it. Simple as that. The fact that India lost reveal. Let's face it. This pitch revealed all the weaknesses in that Indian Test cricket team. It revealed every single weakness. Lack of a top
Absolutely.
class opening bowler if Bumrah is out of the picture. Lack of a top
Absolutely.
class opening bowler. Um, really crappy batting. Let's face it. India's batting order. Yeah, you talk about Virat Kohli. He's way past his prime. Retire the
Mm.
old pensioner and get him out there. Rohit Sharma at least had the decency to walk away. Um, it's time now. It's time for the youngsters to be blooded. Come on.
Hmm. I thought the pitch was unlike Sydney, and I also thought that if they had produced a proper Sydney pitch, at least India could have. You see, if the bet had been a draw, India would have been out of the competition, but at least it would have been fun to have seen how Sri Lanka would have taken advantage. India would have had no choice but to have prepared two spicy pitches, which they could have won 2-0. And Yuvraj, I think you had predicted an SA Sri Lanka final, if I'm correct. So Yuvraj, your prediction would
Uh,
have been in the running, I think. Or am I wrong about
I,
that?
I I thought it was possible if
Okay.
Australia didn't get through. Definitely. But look, my personal opinion. I look at the two finalists in the WTC. Neither of them is the best test team in the world. Neither of them is the best test team in the world. So the format is flawed. Simple as
Hmm.
that. The format for selection for qualification is flawed.
You told me something quite controversial. You told me the best team in the world, according to the format, I mean, according to how you feel, is actually New Zealand. Do enlighten us on this,
You-
because I find you told me New Zealand off air, which I found kind of bizarre. So do elaborate on this.
No, I mean, who's been most consistent? Who's been most consistent?
Interesting.
New Zealand. They might not have the most robust team, but they're consistent. They find ways to win matches.
Avish, do you concur with UV's thoughts?
Uh, I kind of disagree with you over there. I think this format, and I agree with him on the part of being flawed. I'll tell you why
Hmm.
it's flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not an even distribution of matches.
Hmm.
That's why I think it's flawed. Because I mean,
Hmm.
if you look at teams like Afghanistan and Zimbabwe, they
Hmm.
don't get to participate in this WTC, which is
Hmm.
unfair in a way.
Hmm.
I think in any sport, be it rugby or football, you'll never get this kind of unfairness. Am I right, Yuvi? It's always an
Agreed.
even ground.
Agreed.
Yeah, this
Agreed.
is this is the only sport where I see that it's kind of discriminatory, it's kind of fraud. Sorry, flawed in a way when it comes to these lower ranked teams. They don't play enough Test cricket. But where I
Mhm.
think it is correct in a way, I think the percentage win rate is
Hmm.
kind of fair because I think that's
Hmm.
the only way you can legitimately get to finalists. And I think SA after that New Zealand series, which was an absolute debacle, sending a
Hmm.
third string or fourth string side, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you think of that side that they sent. I think it was
It was
more
a
around
third
fourth
string.
string,
It was more like a third string
yeah,
team.
third string.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
third string side. They've been pretty good. They've been
Hmm.
pretty good in Test cricket. I mean,
Yeah.
they've won six in a row. I mean, albeit you're talking about opposition, but I mean, you can only play what's in front of you at the end of the day, guys.
That's true.
Uh,
That's true.
So I think if Australia got that kind of blow, they wouldn't be awfully upset about it as well, or even India. However,
Mhm.
there's still people that are trying to question why SA are in the final, which I think is absolute BS in a way, because they've been consistent. They've been consistent, and so has Australia.
But
So has
but they
Australia.
haven't played the best teams. South Africa have not
Yeah.
played the best teams.
Yeah.
That's
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 true.
the
that's
problem.
that's a fair point,
They have
Yuvi. That's
not
a
played
fair
the best
point.
teams.
But I mean,
Yeah,
They have
but
not
that's
that's
played
not
the
our
that's
best
not
teams.
fault,
their
though.
fault.
Yeah.
That's not their fault in
No,
in
it's
in
not
in,
their
in, in
fault.
that sense, Yuvi.
But
Yeah,
that's where I come back to the format. The format is
Hmm.
flawed. They should be playing best team.
But then, what would
They
be a
should be
format, though,
playing.
look,
UV?
Every team, every side should be playing each other at some point.
absolutely,
Every country in
absolutely.
contention should be playing each
I
other
agree.
at some point.
Absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. It's got to be like a Premier League kind of schedule.
Hmm.
Home and away. Very very important.
But Avish, I've told
Yeah.
you this. We need the Test Cricket World Cup for this problem. There's no other way around it. And even Michael Vaughan had said this before on Crick Buzz. I don't know if you remember Michael Vaughan ever mentioning about the Test Cricket World Cup. I've always had this thought, but I never spoke about it out loud because I thought it was a bit far-fetched. But since Microphone spoke about it a long time ago, I think there's possibility that it could be done. We just need a gap in the month, like a 3 month window. Don't know how
Yeah,
we're gonna create
you
that
see
now.
the problem there, Sid. I mean, where do you find the schedule, Sid? Because I mean, the cricket
Mm.
calendar is so like what can I say? Uh, it's so cramped up. With you've got
Yeah.
you've got ICC tournaments, you've got
Mm.
bilaterals, you've got T20 leagues all over around the world, and then you've got
Mm.
the biggest T20 league in the IPL, where I
Mm-hmm.
mean, nothing, actually
I,
disturbs the
I
IPL. When it's IPL
I actually want
time,
to come back to
you
that in
should
a
be,
while.
yeah,
I actually want to come back to that
sure.
in a while. I don't believe the IPL is any longer the best. Well, maybe the biggest, but not the best league. No.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can say that. So what is the best league then,
Controversial.
Yubi? Yeah.
BBL, definitely BBL.
Is that the Bangladesh Premier League? What BBL?
No,
No,
no, he's talking
Big
about
Bash,
the Big Bash. The
Oh,
Big
Australia,
Bash.
Australian League. Oh,
Australia,
Big
Big
Bash.
Bash.
Australian
Hmm?
League. Australian League. Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't watch it, so I can't
I,
comment.
I just think
Hmm.
the IPL has a universal following. What do you think,
That's
Seth?
true.
That's
That's
that's what
true.
makes it
It, it, it's
such
been
a big
around
league. And
longer, so it does. Yeah.
yes, it's been around longer. It's got that universal following, and I think
Mm.
a lot of people, fans, cricket fans, they have an attachment towards these franchises. If you agree with me,
Hmm.
there is an emotional
No, they
attachment
do.
towards them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
if you're an MI
Mm-hmm.
supporter or if you're a KKR supporter, especially in the IPL
Mm.
season, there is an emotional
Yep.
attachment to these
Mm.
franchises. So I think the
Yeah.
IPL
Yeah.
is the biggest league in the world. But I mean, the BBL, you can probably say is the second best league in the world
I'd say the
after the
best.
IPL.
The talent is there is better. The talent is there is definitely better.
Oh,
Okay.
controversial.
All right. On that interesting note, I'll ask. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do
And,
for
and
the
and
next
another thing, and
segment,
another
which
thing,
is
Seth,
the
and
SA
another thing,
versus. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
the
Yeah. Go.
IPL
Go.
has
Go.
the best players. You get to see the best players in the world in
Mm.
the IPL
That is
because I
true.
mean
I don't think so.
that
Money
I
that
talks
I
here,
I,
guys.
I would disagree with that because I've been watching BBL recently, and the quality of performances have been higher than anything I've seen in the IPL of late. So I would
Okay.
disagree with that.
Uh, okay. I don't follow BBL, so I'll take your word for
No,
it, Yubi, and
don't
I'll
take my
also put
word
your
for
words for
it.
it too,
Start
Avish. So I'll be
following it.
neutral.
Don't take my word for it. Start following
we will, we will,
it.
There's too
we
much
will,
cricket, man.
we will,
There's too
you.
much cricket to follow, guys. I just watch.
There
I
is
watch. I
there is
watch
a
watch
lot.
too
There
much
is a
catch
lot.
up, man. I like.
They,
So I prefer catch up. Catch up.
Mr.
Catch up
Catch
is
Up,
my
okay,
choice.
so for next year, replace
Mr.
the
Catch Up.
IPL with BBL.
Oh God, I can't do
You
that.
can.
I love KKR too much to do that. Yeah, funny story. Yuvi, what's your thoughts on it and so far the second test between SA and Pakistan, man? I know you told me something very interesting off air.
Uh, Similar story to India in Australia. Pakistan went there to lose. Um, I looked at the team that came there to play in the test. Let's face it. Name one bowler in that Pakistan. Okay, there's Nazim Shah, I guess. But anybody else that can bowl consistently in the high 140s to 150s? Nobody else. Yes, Pakistan have
Hmm.
three guys warming the bench that can, and they move the ball both ways. So to me, what that says to me initially, and Avish alluded to it earlier in the different respects, politics. There's too much BS politics involved.
Oh.
Um, to me, if South
Hmm.
Africa were not dominating this current Pakistan team that's on the field, then they would be absolutely useless in my eyes. They need to be dominating this team because this team is worthless. Simple as that.
Wow, that's very spicy. What's your thought, Avish?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is more of a call for why Shaheen Shah is not here in this lineup because
Mhm.
Pakistan are missing that
Hmm.
that extra pace, a wicket taking, a genuine wicket taker. And I mean, I'll be honest with you,
Hmm.
I thought they played very well in Centurion, and we gave them a lot of place in
Hmm.
Centurion the way they performed.
Hmm.
But I think they've been woeful in this game. So
Hmm.
I mean, in the field, drop
Yeah.
catches. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
bowling was like kind of licorice, all sorts, guys. I mean, all over the show. Um, uh,
Hmm.
SA showed them how to bowl on this pitch, and as consequence of
Hmm.
that, they're
Yeah.
following on in this game now. So I don't see any way back for them, guys. But
Yeah.
again, politics. I don't know if they picked their best squad. And then, unfortunately, it was unfortunate Saim Ayub got injured. But I mean,
Hmm. Yeah.
training by
Yeah.
615 after the first innings, guys. You don't lose a lot of test matches from
Yeah. You
that
pretty much.
kind of situation. So I mean, it's
position.
a new year. And
Mm,
it's a great start for SA because this is the performance that they were looking for. I thought they got away with murder in Centurion because that was a very average
yeah.
performance from SA. This is a more dominant performance. I mean,
Mhm.
Rickleton, guys. I
Yeah.
mean, what a fabulous innings. That's an epic 259. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he's booked his ticket to Lords. He's
Oh,
booked his
he
ticket
has
to
to
Yeah.
be
Lords,
It's
there.
and
obvious. He'll be
He
there
has
for
to be
sure.
there.
honestly speaking, I think a guy like Bellingham is in trouble here. If anything, I think he should be dropped for Rickleton.
Who's that?
Yeah.
And obviously, if you want to
He's
bring
been
back the
awful.
Sozi, it's fine.
Bellingham.
Bellingham,
Bellingham.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my
Uh.
only concern with this performance so far is Bellingham. I mean, he's had a very average summer
Well,
at
I
home. I
have
mean, he
one other
hasn't scored
concern.
any runs whatsoever.
I have one other concern. The other concern is Markram.
Sure.
Okay.
The other concern is
Which
Markram.
one? Oh, Markham. Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
There's no
Look,
consistency.
Avish.
look.
Uh.
I think Marco did make some runs in the
Oh,
first
sorry.
innings, so you can give him some grace there,
Oh.
UV. But I mean, Bellingham has been
No,
awful this entire summer. He hasn't scored a single
no.
half century. I
That,
mean, over over
like I
over
said,
over over, over two series.
Mhm. You're going to a final that personally I think they're lucky to be in, and they have a chance to win that championship. You don't want Mark Rubbs through the luck.
Okay.
You want your best players on the park.
Mm, mm. Avish, I know I always make fun of Cape Town, but I must admit, after having that extreme pitch that was too bowler friendly, I thought it was more batsman friendly. But actually, I think it's a fair pitch in the sense that SA could bowl at Pakistan and never fought to follow, and I think it's a lot better. That's what I would say. What do you think, Avish, of this Cape
Yeah,
Town
no,
pitch?
absolutely. I just think Pakistan bowled woefully. They bowled so
Mm.
poorly in this game here, and that is the reason why
Mm-hmm.
SA missed that mammoth total of 615. If they bowled the right areas that they did bowl in
Mm-hmm.
Centurion, it could have been a lot more, less damage because I think 400 or 350 they were still in the game. But I mean, if you concede 600,
Mm.
600 plus in the first innings, you don't lose a lot of test matches. I don't think any team has ever lost a test match after
But,
conceding after scoring 600. So it's a long way back for Pakistan. But
Yeah.
I think they kind of they demoralized now because they got so close in Centurion and
Mm.
they didn't end up winning
Mm.
that game. So they seem a
Yeah.
bit demoralized as a team now. And obviously, Sainz
can I
injury as
just
well, which compounded things.
ask though, what do you think the major
Yeah, sure.
difference was
Mm-hmm.
between South Africa here and
Mm-hmm.
South Africa and Centurion?
I just think that
Easy. I think we had a much better pitch. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I
Go
just
one
think
at
the
a time,
application of the bat.
whatever. Mhm. But also aggression.
I think
Remember, that the
aggression.
Pakistanis have a bunch of the Pakistanis have a bunch of medium pace. Use your feet, you get down the wicket, you mess with their lines
Oh.
and lengths, they're going to shit. They're going to go to all parts of the ground. The lack of
Totally,
pace
totally agree with you,
is
Yubi.
what has
Yeah.
the lack of pace is what screwed them. Yeah. The lack of pace is what has screwed Pakistan.
Mm.
You can only play as well as your opposition allows you to play. South Africa did not allow them to play.
Mm.
South Africa
Mm.
were good. And I know it comes
Mm.
as a huge shock coming from me, but they were good here.
Yubi, I just want to ask you a question. I mean,
Yeah.
Naseem Shah,
Funny thought.
are you a bit puzzled that he's not in this game with his
Mm-hmm.
pace?
Sorry?
Naseem Shah,
Sorry, I
are
didn't
you a
hear
bit
you.
puzzled that he's not in this lineup? Are you a bit puzzled that
I'm
Naseem
puzzled.
Shah is not in this lineup with his
I'm
kind of
puzzled that
pace?
their top four bowlers are not in this lineup. I'm puzzled that their top four bowlers are not in this lineup. Nasim Shah in the first test, I think, did really well. So him being left out, definitely big shock for me. But I'm surprised that the other three aren't there as well. Their top four bowlers are not in the lineup. That is puzzling, no doubt.
Look,
But I think Nazim
I
Shah
think,
was kind
guys,
of injured after that first test. That's why he's not playing. Yeah.
Okay, if there's an
Oh
injury,
yes,
that's
oh
kind of
yes.
understandable. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think
you've
he
got
got picked up
really
easy.
then you've got some really good reserves that can come in. Why have you not used them?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Beat me, man. I got
guys,
no answers.
I think if you want to win Test matches in Australia and South Africa, you got to come here with genuine pace.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine pace is going to
Agreed.
trouble those teams. If you don't
Mm,
come
And
here with
it's a
genuine, you come
difference.
here with a bunch of medium paces in Test match cricket.
mm,
You're gonna suffer.
mm.
You are really gonna suffer, and
And it's a
that's the
different
consequence of what we
story.
see here.
Yeah. It's a different story with India in Australia because the selectors didn't give them the pace. But the guys on tour here,
Mm,
you've got four guys that have pace. Why are they not being played in the test?
mm.
It makes no sense. India, the selectors screwed up.
I
They
got
did
no
not
answers
give
too,
them the
Yubi.
pace. Okay, yeah, you've got two guys that are
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
faster side of fast medium. You've got Prasid and Navdeep. They're on the faster side of fast medium. So you could have played them. But I still kind of feel
Mm.
like Pakistan were woeful in selection. Yeah. Sorry, Avish, I interrupted you. My
Guys,
apologies.
you know what shocks me? You know what shocks me, guys? I was reading an article
Mhm.
there about
Mm-hmm.
Shaheen Shah. Apparently, the
Uh-huh.
selectors rested him for this Test series so he can be fit for the Champions Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
What?
is absolute BS, man. Come on,
No,
seriously,
no,
man.
no. Sorry. Sorry. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Uh,
Absolute BS, honestly.
What can you do, man?
So
uh,
I
But no, but she have
question,
to. Oh,
I question a lot of these Asian teams. Are they really taking Test cricket seriously, Yuvi? The likes of Sri Lanka, um, the likes of Pakistan. Are Pakistan taking cricket seriously? If their best bowler of the last six
mhm,
years, Shaheen Shah, is not playing in
mhm.
this Test lineup, are they really taking the game seriously? That's my question.
I have to, I have to look at the resources available to Pakistan. They could be dominating Test cricket right now. They should be dominating Test cricket right now, but they aren't. That says it all.
mm, mm. Yeah, it's sad. They could be in the top five,
No,
you know. They just
I would say
apply
if they use
less
their
quality.
resources, they'd be number one. I can't see another team that could match them. If they use their resources properly, they would be number one. I
Wow.
can't see another team that would match
Ooh. I think their batting needs some
Okay.
work as well,
I'll.
Yuvi. Their batting.
Yeah,
them. They're
I
Their
coming
batting
together
needs
though.
some work.
I
You
agree
know
with
what?
you on that one,
They
Avish.
can always be dangerous with the ball. They can always be dangerous with
Mm,
the ball.
Yeah.
It's their batting that
mm.
lets them down sometimes.
Mm.
It's
It
their
does.
batting.
It does.
They just kind of get out to the worst kind of deliveries. So it's a loss in concentration. I think it's a loss in concentration with them, Yuvi,
Mm.
more than anything
True.
else.
True. They,
Oh, oh,
they're too good
yeah.
for their own good.
And I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask you guys this question. What is this thing with
Hmm?
Baba Azam getting out
Yeah, yeah.
after drinks break? He seems to be getting out after every drinks break. It happened in Centurion, it happened again here in Cape Town. He gets out exactly after a drinks break. Immediately after a drinks break, he gets out for some reason.
Maybe he thinks there's gummy berry juice in the drink. Now I can eat every ball for six.
Oh
Oh,
God. I don't know. Maybe he's having horny thoughts, and that's why he switches off after drinks break. Who knows? I'm just kidding, guys.
I think it's a concentration. It's a loss in
Mm,
concentration
Mm,
after drinks break. I mean,
mm,
you had something to drink. You had a
mm,
few goodies to eat, some jelly babies, some
mm,
nice
mm,
cereal bars, and then you lose your
mm.
concentration. That's all
true.
it's down to. It's concentration. So yeah, it's puzzling.
Yeah, so that's to be
It's
concept.
puzzling for
Yeah.
me that
Mhm.
Shaheen Shah is not in this
Mm.
lineup. I mean, the best bowler that Pakistan
I
have
believe
produced
so.
in a long time. So I don't know why he's not in the side. And he's an even more dangerous bowler
But
with the old
Avish,
ball.
Hmm? Swings it
yeah,
both ways.
yeah. But Avish, you have to admit, yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to pitch something to both of you guys. But you have to admit, when you have a good batting track to play on, you're going to play a lot better batting wise with the score. I don't know if you concur with that, Avish.
You know what would have been interesting, Sid? If Pakistan batted first.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been interesting to see how much they would have scored.
Mm,
Because I'll bet my money on this. SA would not have given them as much freebies as they did
Hmm.
give SA. So
No.
definitely, it would have been really interesting to see how Pakistan would have batted if they batted first on the street.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think they would have got about 150.
What's your
They
thoughts,
would have
Yuvi?
got about 150.
So
Yeah,
little.
let's face it. If you look at both bowling attacks, South Africa definitely, on the attacks playing on the field, South Africa definitely had the better bowling attack. There's no doubt. The Pakistanis, they threw together a bunch of medium pacers, a few makeshift spinners. That'll suffice. It's cool.
Okay, on that interesting note, let's go to the next segment. I want to ask you, Yuvi, what's your thoughts on New Zealand winning the T20 series against Sri Lanka? I didn't expect that 2-1. And then they win the first ODI. And I think there's two more ODI. Correct. I don't know if this is going to look very bizarre, but I think New Zealand's probably going to win the ODI series against Sri Lanka. What's your thoughts on this,
It
Yuvi?
shouldn't be happening, but it is. And it's coming back to what I said about New Zealand. They're becoming a bit of a dominant force. They really are coming together. Sri
Hmm.
Lanka is not a bad ODI or T20 team by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of ability there.
Hmm.
Yes, they also make some stupid selection decisions. There's no doubt about that. But by the same token, similar
Hmm.
to South
Hmm.
Africa, you can only play what's put in front of you, and you should not detract from what they've achieved
Hmm.
because what's put in front of you is mediocre. Likewise, New Zealand,
Hmm.
we should not detract from what they've achieved
Hmm.
because the Sri Lankan team put in front of them was mediocre.
Your thoughts,
Yeah,
Avish?
I just think it was a lost opportunity in Sri Lanka in that T20 series, especially. I mean, I know they got blown away in this first ODI, right? They were totally outplayed. But if you look at the T20 series, I mean,
Hmm.
look at that first game, guys. I mean, that was an almighty choke. Let's
Hmm.
be honest, from 121 for no loss
Hmm.
to end up losing that game. And they were so dominant. They batted so well in that last game. I mean, posting 218, Kushal Pereira. I mean, he's a bit of an enigma. If I don't know if you guys agree with me because he's got that innings in him
Agreed.
where he can
Yeah.
actually
Lots of
he
talent.
can actually look like $1 million. But the
Mhm.
yes, did you say
Hmm.
unfulfilled talent? That's what I think. He's an
Lots of
unfulfilled
talent.
talent. He's got the
Hmm.
talent. He's got all the shots in the book, but he doesn't. His talent hasn't lived up to expectations. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's unplayable. I mean, no bowler. There's no bowler that can get this guy out
Hmm.
on his day. I mean, there's
You
no
know,
ground that's too big for him.
he's had a really good role model in becoming that. Do you remember a player called Aravinda De Silva?
Oh yeah, an absolute legend.
Yes.
He could also be brilliant on his day and pathetic on another. So he's had a really good role model in becoming who he is.
Okay.
But I just want to say something about De Silva. De Silva, that innings in the World Cup final. I mean, he came good when it really counted. So you
He
got to
did.
give him credit there.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, he is a legend for them. So yeah, yeah, man. Pereira is a bit of a I don't know. He's kind of more like Rishabh Pant. On his day, he can be brilliant, and
Hmm.
more often than not,
Hmm.
he throws his wicket away. But yeah, that's a
I
conversation for another.
Uh.
Getting back to New Zealand, getting back to New Zealand. I mean, a lot of pundits might not give them much of a chance in the Champions Trophy, but I disagree. I think they're going to be competitive, even though they
I do
in a
too.
tough group.
They're always
Even,
competitive.
even though they're in
Hmm.
a tough group with India and
Yeah.
Pakistan, Sid, I told you about
Hmm.
this that opening game between Pakistan and New Zealand. I mean, I don't know, eh?
Hmm.
Pakistan are playing good cricket, but New Zealand are a tournament team. They always show up in
Hmm.
tournaments, so
Hmm.
that could be an interesting game, guys.
Don't remind me.
No, I think New Zealand wins that
Yeah.
one. I think New Zealand wins that
There you go, Sid. There
Okay,
you
I'm
go,
gonna
Sid.
hold you to that
There
one,
you
Yuvi.
go. There's a prediction right there, Sid.
Although Yuvi, I'll tell you. Okay, I wish we shouldn't dismiss this by Yuvi because I remember I think they made the final of the Champions Trophy. I mean the T20 trophy in Dubai. And even though those pitches in Dubai the conditions in Dubai was so bad, the team that was batting second, and I know Gaurav Kapoor is making a joke of it on Crick Buzz, when the team won the toss, he said, "That's it. Australia won the champions, won the T20 trophy." Because every time team bats second, they just win. So hopefully it's not like that in Pakistan. But yeah, New Zealand did really well. I think Australia were just lucky. They just get batting second and they keep
Yeah,
winning. If you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean. If you know what I mean, Yavi.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was the luck of the draw, no doubt about it.
I, I also believe you make your own
What do you
luck.
think, UVA?
Also believe
Pardon?
you make your own luck. They were playing well.
Yeah.
That's
They
true.
were, but they weren't like playing on various conditions. But they weren't playing in various conditions. Like look at England, New Zealand, and Pakistan. If any team that deserved to win that T20 trophy was either Pakistan or England or even New Zealand for that matter. I don't know if you agree with that, UV.
No, I think Australia got there and they deserved it. I actually believe they deserved it.
Interesting. You, Avi?
Yeah, I was actually kind of fancying England and Pakistan final day. To be honest with you, yeah, England,
Hmm.
Pakistan.
Okay.
I thought those two teams were probably the best teams in the tournament. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
Champions Trophy is going to be interesting. As I said, I don't think we should write off New Zealand, although they're in a tough group. But I mean, Indian team.
Hmm.
I mean, who knows? Who knows who's going to play in that ODI side after what's happened in Australia?
Yeah, but Avish, you.
Is Achita Galkasco the chairman of selectors?
Oh, sorry.
I can tell you it's a leader.
You really love
Someone,
Vijay
someone
Gawker.
really loves
Yeah,
Ajita
You
right.
really love
Ghatar.
Vijay Gawker.
It's that guy. Yeah. He's like the messiah for medium paces. Like the messiah for medium paces.
Oh my God.
No, but you know, Yuvi, your thoughts on New Zealand are not so far fetched, and I tell you why. Because I remember in the T20 tournament, New Zealand was the reason why India couldn't have qualified for that tournament. Because I know India lost to Pakistan first, but then I would have always fancied India to beat New Zealand. But then New Zealand's a bogey team for India. So, and guess what? New Zealand is in India's
Hmm?
group. So hopefully, the only way India will go through that group is if they beat Pakistan, and then it's okay if they don't beat New Zealand because they can beat the following teams. That's the only way I see India going through in that group. But I know what you're saying about New Zealand. Hopefully, India beat Pakistan. Otherwise, I think New Zealand, as UV says, could be big
You know,
contenders. What do you
the
think,
weird
Avi?
thing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
I've always
absolutely, guys.
given.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry,
for
you were
the
saying
longest
something?
time, I was an ardent India supporter. I just can't bring myself to support
Okay.
them anymore. I can't. Uh, it's
Oh.
very simple. This team needs to lose. They need to lose badly, really terribly, so that they see the need for change.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, sorry, Avi. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. Hey, I mean, I just want to say something. If Rohit Sharma is still in this team going to that England tour
Hmm.
in July, I think they're making a huge mistake.
Hmm.
They're making a huge mistake if they're going to keep that guy in the team. Seriously.
Mhm, mhm. I agree.
And some bowlers as well.
Yeah.
And some bowlers as
Yeah.
well. I
Hmm.
think I think they need a whole freshening up of the squad. But unfortunately, politics. India and Pakistan are dominated by politics. And
Can I
that
be honest?
obviously, yeah, sure.
The time for Sanju Samson has come. The time for Sanju Samson has come. Let him open.
In ODIs or tests
No,
or T20?
T20s and ODIs. Let him open.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. I agree with
Interesting.
that one, guys. And Tilak Varma, I think this kid deserves a chance in the testing. I think if
Hmm. Hmm.
India wanna go forward in Test cricket, you've got to have two
Mm-hmm.
aggressive openers. And I think Tilak
Agree?
Varma and Sanju Samson, I'm sorry, Tilak
Mm-hmm.
Varma and Jaiswal are the future.
Yeah.
They are the future of this
Agreed?
Indian side.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they are the future of the Indian side, not Rohit, not Kohli. I mean, they are the past. Let's be honest, they are the past. I don't see them coming to another
OG.
Australian tour.
You in England tour, right?
Even England. I
No,
mean,
Australian
honestly,
come.
Kohli, I don't know. I don't know. They've got to make a decision about Kohli because he's been getting out the same
No,
way he's been getting out throughout the series. It's
Hmm.
always
no,
Scotland.
hmm? His old age home is booked. Why?
This is the thing. This is the thing with cricketers. Leave the cricket before the cricket leaves you. That's the best
That's it.
advice I can give a player. Leave the
Mm-hmm.
cricket before the cricket leaves you.
Mm.
And some of these players
The,
you've seen in the series,
Hmm.
it seems like the
Mhm.
cricket has left them. The cricket has left them.
The sad thing is,
So
they've
I
had a
think
bad role model in Tendulkar. Tendulkar played way past this time. That's where this comes from.
Interesting.
interesting, but I mean, Sachin
Interesting.
was a lot more consistent than these guys. Let's be honest.
Mm.
That's true.
No, I
He was a
agree.
lot more
Hmm.
consistent.
But
Yeah.
they're measuring themselves by that yardstick. That is where this is from.
Oh yeah,
That's
Okay,
where
I
this
just
is
want to
from.
say something.
yeah.
I
Tendulkar
just
should
want to say
retire after
something.
the after the 50 over
Mm.
World Cup. Yeah.
I don't think Rohit Sharma takes this cricket seriously. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think he takes the test game seriously enough. You see the way that he gets
No,
out
it doesn't.
sometimes. He's like in
Ooh.
two minds, not sure whether to attack or whether to defend. Now,
Oh.
if you're in that kind of
Mm.
mindset, you've got to know. I mean, the best players in the world, they know how to adapt. They can play all three
Mm.
formats. The
Hmm.
likes of Steve
Mm.
Smith, the likes of David Warner's back in the days. I mean, AB. You need to know
Once
how
upon a
to play a
Hmm.
particular format. I mean, end of the day, yes, it's individual performances count, but this is a team game. Whatever that is required from the team, for the team, you've got to play. You've got to play the situation. If the situation requires you to play this kind of innings, you've got to do it because it's a team game. You've got to do what's best for the
mm.
team, not what's best for you.
Agreed. Once upon a time, Virat Kohli was
Avi, have you
awesome.
been following much? Oh, sorry, Yuvi. What were you saying,
I
Yuvi?
said,
I couldn't hear you there.
he mentioned Steve Smith and all of that. Once upon a time, Virat Kohli was also
Yeah,
part of that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
Avi, I wanted to hear your thought. I want to know your thoughts on the Zimbabwe and Afghanistan. I think it's much more interesting for the second test. The pitch doesn't seem to be a bit of a road. It seems a much more fairer test pitch. What's your thoughts on that, Avish?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot better, a much better test match, much more competitive. I thought Zimbabwe, they gave Afghanistan way too many runs in the second inning. I feel they had them in trouble and they let them off the hook.
Hmm.
Some low order runs there. So that
Mm-hmm.
chase, what are they chasing now? 270, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be quite a tricky chase for them, eh?
Hmm.
Well, what did
Yeah.
Afghanistan
It's
score?
what's your thoughts?
What did they score?
Sorry, sorry,
I think it was 300 plus.
sorry. What is it, Yuvi?
300 plus. No,
Yeah, a lot
that's
of yeah.
underperforming. They should have scored 1,000 on that wicket. Yeah. No. Um,
Nah, I don't. I think you think of the first test, Yuvi. I
no,
think you think of
I
the first
mean,
test. I think the second pitch. I think this test match
any
series.
decent batting wicket against Zimbabwe, you should be scoring over
Hey,
1,000.
you're bad.
No, but on a
Hey,
realistic note,
yeah.
I still expect it will end in a draw. If it does happen to be a win, it will be Afghanistan.
No,
Yeah.
okay. I like your optimism. I think the Bob is gonna win it, but maybe I'm wrong. What
What's
do you
the
think?
score at the moment, Sid? Then I can gauge on who's going to win this game.
Okay, just 1 second.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let me get my phone quickly.
sorry
Sorry
about
about
that.
that. Oh, hey guys. Sorry about that. It's so hot, man.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. But I'm sure the viewers understand our frustration, especially if they
73
compare
for
Oh
with.
yeah,
2. 74 for 2. Still 204 to win. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
oh yeah, you're right. It's 73 for 2, and it's this is actually day 4. Usually this match is not
no,
going to
it's
a
not
draw.
going
It'll
to
be
a
on the
draw.
fifth day. We'll get
My
the
only
result.
concern with
Mm.
Zimbabwe is they can collapse like a pack of cards.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
They can collapse.
That's and we've got Rashid Khan.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought.
Rashid Khan's already
Yeah.
got one.
I thought Afghanistan were. Okay. I thought Afghanistan were chasing. Okay, the Bob is chasing. It could go either way then. I think it's 50-50. I don't think
I,
it's so
I,
one
I think
sided
I
as all
also
it
think
was.
50-50. Yeah, but I
I'm,
would
I'm
put
Yeah.
sticking with
I would put
Afghan.
Afghanistan probably as slight favorites because of their bowling attack.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. And you,
No,
Yuvi?
I'm still sticking with Afghanistan. Rashid Khan. That's my best captain in the world, as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned. He should win it for them.
Okay. All right, I will hold you to that. Let me just check if there's anything else we need to wrap off.
Rashid Khan,
I
guys,
think
Rashid Khan.
here.
I mean, a lot of people
Uh huh.
think about him
Mm-hmm.
as a T20 merchant, but look at this guy. He's playing Test cricket for his
Mm-hmm.
country. So all I can say is
Hmm.
shame on Shaheen Shah for not being available for this Test series. I mean,
Agreed.
you've got to put your country first.
Hmm.
You've got to put your country first, guys.
Mhm.
Absolutely, you got to put your country first.
I agree.
Uh, yeah. Actually, I realized there's a test series coming up, but that's only on the 16th. So I won't talk about that one right now. So there's one thing I wanted to cover with you guys. I forgot to do it last week. I'll start with you, Avish. What were your thoughts when Ashwin retired after Brisbane? I found that really bizarre.
Did we speak about this or did we not?
No, I see you.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
I
mention that
mean,
with you. I
you
felt so
look.
silly.
I'll be honest with you. He's been a stalwart for the Indian team, absolute legend. But I
Yeah.
honestly feel that politics has pushed him out of this team, and I think Yubi
Hmm.
will back me
That's
up
what
with
I
this one.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was about time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Interesting,
No,
interesting, Brain. But
when
Okay.
any one of these old timers retires now, I just I'm ready to throw a party because it's time for a new generation of Indian players.
But I just thought of something, and I was really irritated after that fourth test in Melbourne. I'll tell you why. I'll start with you, UV. That test was looking like such a dull draw, and then Rishabh Pant does such a retarded shot. He gets himself out, and then everyone just falls like a pack of cards. Don't you think? Had that match been a draw, and even if India had lost 2-1, it would have made it very interesting from that. Champion in terms of who could have been in the final could have been really open to all these three teams. Now, because India's retardedness, it's become like now we have India, Australia,
But
South Africa. What do you think?
I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But
Yeah.
let's be honest. Australia is kind of similar to what South Africa did in the first test. They underperformed. They won the test, but they underperformed. That's what made Pakistan look better than they actually were. And vice versa. Australia underperformed and made India look better than they actually were. So, to be honest with you, I
Interesting.
believe Australia should have blown India away in that. That it was a lot closer than it needed to be.
Your
no,
thoughts,
I think
Avish?
it was an absolute brain fade from Pant, and we've seen this happening far too often from Pant. I mean, look, if Pant and Jaiswal, I mean Jaiswal was batting beautifully. Let's be honest, in that game he was batting
Hmm.
beautifully. All he needed was a
Yeah.
bit of support, and he didn't get it. I mean that obviously the one thing with
Yeah.
Australia, when Australia smell blood, they pounce. They
Yeah.
pounce like predators. They are the
Wolves.
predators, and I think India opened the door for them there. That brain
I
fade
agree.
from Rishabh Pant opened the door for Australia in that game. If you just use a little bit of common sense, a little bit of common sense, India could have drawn that game, and this would have made up for a finale. A very
Hmm.
tasty finale on a spicy meatball kind of pitch. And
But
I honestly think
I think
India would have played a lot better. India, if this game
Hmm.
if this game was 1-1, the series 1-1, I think India would have played a lot
Yeah.
better, sir. Honestly speaking,
I,
they would have played a lot
I
better.
think my stance on it is simple. I think
Pardon?
my stance on it is
Mm-hmm.
simple.
Mm-hmm.
If your team is gonna
Mm-hmm.
fold after one player does a stupid thing, your team is not good enough. Sorry.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think after what happened in But I think after what happened in Melbourne, I think India kind of deserved to lose 3-1. In fact, now that I analyze this more, I think they were really lucky in Brisbane. They should have just lost 4-1 because, I mean, they would have lost 4-1. If they're going to play pathetically out in Melbourne and then they lost like this in Sydney, I think Brisbane would have been a formality 4-1. So maybe, I guess, 3-1 is really a flattering even result, even for India. Maybe 4-1 would have been a more. What do you think, Yuvi?
I think the gods were kind on them and they got away with
Yeah.
one. Um, I agree with you,
Hmm.
Sid. You're not wrong, 100%. And I think I want to come back to what Avi said when we were doing our predictions. He said the only thing that can save India from a 4-1 result is a rain interruption.
Yeah,
And he was right.
yeah,
He was
that's
100%
true.
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Avi, I want to mention one more talking point. It happened the first day at Sydney towards the end. The Bumrah and Constance incident. What was your take on that, man?
Woman unconscious. Yeah, I think that kid was just he was overdoing it a bit for some reason. I mean, Bumrah is an experienced campaigner. There was no need for that, you know. But that
Mm.
is the thing with India and the series for some reason. I think the series has been dominated more by the off-field antics than actually what's going on the pitch. You know,
Mm.
is that kind of a series for India? But yeah, just to end this off. After the first test, they only seemed like one team who was actually capable and who actually wanted to win the series, and that was Australia. That was
Mm.
Australia.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's been pretty much a funeral after
I
the
want to
first
kind of highlight
test.
something.
Yeah.
A lot of young players did perform well in this series. Nitish Kumar Reddy, Constant,
Mm.
what's the other guy,
Mm.
Akash. So as much as I'm critical of India, I
Yeah.
don't believe that by any stretch of the imagination shows their best bunch of players to go to Australia. But some of the guys that went there showed some promise. So give them credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Constant, I'm looking forward to see what this kid does in Test cricket because I believe his sort of play is what's desperately needed in the game of Test cricket right now. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I watched him in one of the BBL matches. God damn, looks like he can hit. Looks like he
Oh.
can hit the ball. Um, and yeah, so exciting times ahead. Disappointing tournament, disappointing series. I mean, but I highlighted a few things that are positive, I guess.
No, but you, what was your take on that Boomerang thing with
Oh,
Constance? What do
I
you think? How
absolutely
do you want to look
loved it.
into that, Yubi?
Absolutely loved it. Everybody says we got to respect Bumrah because he's this great a bowler, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
When a batsman
Mm.
gets up a
Mm.
fast
Mm.
bowler's
Mm.
nose and the fast bowler's trying to bounce him out, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Mm. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Starting with you, Yubi. Anything you want to say before we wrap off? Because I don't know anything to add off here. Add
Phil
on.
Davis back in form. Uh, Smashed it, got his team over the line. So yeah, Australia coming up into this ICC trophy. I'm I'm excited. I want to see the team they select because I got a feeling we're going to see Morris and Richardson in that lineup. I got a feeling they've been amazing in this PBL season. If they're not in that lineup, then there's something seriously wrong
Okay.
with this Australian section.
Okay. And you, Avi, any final words before we wrap
Yeah, no,
off?
I agree with the UV regarding the younger players. I think the younger players have actually stepped up in the series. I mean, Nitish Kumar. I mean, this kid is so talented, man. I mean, uh,
Mm.
I expect big things from him. And then Constance. I mean, Constance.
Mm.
He's this kid is a freak of nature. Honestly, the way he comes out
Mm.
and takes the game on. I mean, that's what you need. And I think that was what Australia were lacking,
Mm.
earlier in the series. So I think the selection
Mm.
of Constance is vindicated, and these players are the future for Australia and India. But WTC is wrapped up now, guys. I mean that
Mhm.
Sri Lanka and Australia series is absolutely irrelevant now because we already know who's in the
Mhm.
final. I think it's going to be a
Mm.
blockbuster final. Honestly, it's going to be a blockbuster final. I think
Mhm.
Australia are going to be tested a lot more than what they've been tested in the series in that final
I agree.
by SA.
But I don't want to be negative, Avish, but I think whoever, if SA, since SA is bringing to Australia, right, and at Lords, if SA do bat first in that final, if I were SA and if they're batting well, I will try and make the final be such a way that even in the worst case scenario, it should end off at the draw. For example, they should make enough so that at least they have it safe and then try and go all out for the kill so that they can enforce the follow on and then win it. Otherwise, if they try and be too cute by being too aggressive, they might get Australia a bit closer. So hopefully it's either an SA win or there's nothing wrong in sharing the trophy with Australia because with due respect, Australia are a way better team than we are.
I
I don't know
honestly
if you
don't think
I don't know if you concur with
that
pardon?
they can share the trophy. So I think they're going to keep on playing. Uh, they
You
can, eh?
can. You can. The thing is, You can.
I mean,
I was googling.
I,
You
I'll
can
I'll
if
be
it's a
honest
draw
with
on
you.
final.
That is the
Yeah.
last team in the world that I want to share a trophy with. So I want to win the damn thing.
Uh, my thinking on the thing is, I'm going to come back to how, to the end of the statement. Australia are a better team. There's no doubt about
Okay.
it. South Africa are capable. They're capable of causing the upset. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're
Of
not.
course. Of
They
course.
are capable of
I
putting
agree
that
with that.
upset on the board.
Hmm.
However, if Australia play to form, they should walk.
Of course. And that's my point. I mean, if they bat first and they bat really well, bat in such a way that they make Australia have to do all the running so that they'll self-inflict, they'll self-implode, and
I,
then
I, don't- I don't
I
know if
think
that's
I think Australia. I think Australia are a much more experienced batting
Mhm.
lineup. But when it comes to the bowling, guys, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of 50-50.
not really.
It's
Not
Interesting.
50-50.
really.
It's 50-50 when it comes to the bowling.
Yeah.
Honestly
I.
speaking,
Not
I
really.
think SA can make
Mm,
this a game if their bowlers come to the party. If their bowlers come to the party in that final, they can make this a really interesting affair.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
the batting
agree.
that
I
is a
tell you
bit of a
why.
concern in certain conditions, but I think the bowling is on par with Australia. I'll be honest with you guys.
No, I
It's
don't
on par with
agree.
Australia.
I have to agree
I
with.
don't agree.
Yeah, I have to agree with Yuvi on this one,
Um,
Avi.
Australia's
Yeah,
bowling
Yuvi,
attack is
your
not
thoughts?
just the experience. I
Uh-huh.
don't like the guys that they chose for the
Yeah.
series. I must agree. I think there's better
Mm,
bowlers
mm,
in Australia than what was played in the series.
mm.
But the guys in the series are superior to
Yeah.
the South African attack. I believe that.
Yeah. Like I would say, you know what, Yuvi? I was thinking now that Australia has now gone to the final, right? I mean, now they're going to Sri Lanka. I'm thinking maybe they could do what Yuvi is suggesting: bring in all the quick bowlers to Sri Lanka. Lawrence, like Morris. I mean, Lawrence
Yeah,
Lance
Taylor,
Lance
Morris,
right?
Morris,
yes.
And then you got Richie Richardson. You
Guy
can rest.
Richardson.
Yeah, then they can rest. Then they can rest. Well, Stark had no choice to rest because he's got that back injury, and they can even rest. I mean, they can take bowling if they want, but I mean, you should really use all the fast bowling in Sri Lanka. It doesn't matter even if they lose 2-0 to Sri Lanka; they're still in the bloody final. So I'm just
Give
thinking,
them a
sure, let's
run,
just
yeah. Give
experiment.
them a run.
Have fun.
And
Yeah,
my thinking would be Jake Fraser McGurk. It's about time he got back into that team. Yeah,
yeah. But Fraser McGurk in Test, I just don't see it. Although if you get consistent for Test
exactly.
cricket, why not Fraser
Imagine
McGurk?
Constance opening McGurk at 3. That's a bloody nightmare for anybody.
Wow, that is fun,
That's,
man. I'd pay to
that's
watch
a
that
nightmare for
if I
bowling
could
attack.
watch it, if I could go all the way. What's your thoughts, Avi, on that Australia must do a lot of fun experimenting with Sri
Yeah, no,
Lanka now that they're already
absolutely. I
in the
mean,
finals?
that's a free hit now, guys. I mean, they've done the job. They're in the
Hmm.
final. They've done the hard work beating India.
Hmm.
So I think India made it quite easy for them in the end. But that's a conversation for
Hmm.
another day. So yeah, they can go and experiment. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna come back to what I'm saying, guys. I think SA's bowling attack can really trouble Australia in the final. Big time, big time.
I look at
Yeah.
it as
But my
bowling
As
point,
for
attack,
pardon?
batting,
and I
yeah, I
think
think
that
Australia have the
I
edge,
think
no doubt about it.
I think I think there's only one real threat in the SA bowling attack, and that's Rabada. Nobody else.
Hmm.
I'm not worried about
Yeah.
anybody else jumping those straight.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to get what's that guy's name? The fast bowler back. I forget his
Norkia,
name now.
that would spice it up.
What's it?
Norkia would spice it up.
Coetzee,
Yes, Norkia,
Yes.
Andre
Yes. They must
Norkia.
get him back. Yes. Yes. And also Kutia must also come
yeah,
back
but
as
That
bowler.
would
honestly,
spice it up.
I don't think Nokia wants to play. I don't think Nokia wants to play Test cricket at the moment. I think he wants to focus more on the
I thought
white
for
ball
one
stuff.
match they can bring him in. Just convince. They must convince him just for one
Just for
match,
the
Avi.
final.
One
Yeah,
match. That's all you
that
want.
Yeah, but I
extra pace
mean,
Yeah.
look,
will be useful.
I think Rabada will be a handful at Lords. Honestly, I
He
think
would,
Rabada
he
will be
would,
a handful at
Of
Lords.
course, of course.
Yeah,
he would.
he will.
But
Yeah.
my thinking is Rabada is a really good bowler. Don't get me wrong. I will respect him,
Absolutely.
but
Of
he's one
course, of
man.
Yeah.
course.
But he's one man. Australia has three Rabadas.
Of course. That's true. That's true. And we can't and we can't have Rabada being a boomerang, man.
I'm
No,
gonna be
no, he's
We
controversial
not
can't
on
have
here.
that
Rabada being
level.
a boomerang, man.
He's not on that
I'm
level.
gonna be
Yeah.
controversial here, guys. I'm gonna be controversial here. I think
Hmm.
Rabada is a better
Pardon?
all-round bowler than Cummins.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ooh, Ooh, that is
No, I agree.
controversial.
I agree with that. He is. I think the better bowler than Rabada is tough.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean that is interesting. Okay, guys, before we wrap off, I'm gonna pay out. I'm just gonna be patriotic. I'll say SA to win the final. Although I won't be Australia. I'd be surprised if Australia win though. But I'll be patriotic and say South Africa will win. You be?
Australia. Yeah.
There's only
You,
one team
Avi?
up back in the final, the Proteas.
Okay, that's 2-1. Okay, fine. You after we see SA beat Pakistan, you have to treat us for lunch,
No
Avi.
problem. We know win.
Okay, we will
Actually,
meet up soon. We will meet up soon.
what's the plans next week? Actually.
Okay, take care, guys. Yeah. What's the plan, guys?
Yeah, we can have a session next week. Let's see how it goes.
All
Probably
right.
on a Sunday.
So here's my
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
here's my suggestion. Let's let's go for lunch after our session.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, but where though?
Where you based, Avish?
So I'm here in Phoenix.
All right. There's a really nice place on Broadway in Durban North called Handi. Best chicken tikka in Durban. You guys want to meet there?
Is that there? What
Yeah.
about Suncoast? How's Suncoast?
Oh,
Suncoast is cool. We
yeah,
can do
Suncoast is
Suncoast.
good.
Okay. I'll let you know
All right.
what's how's
Confirm
my
with me.
schedule, but
Confirm with me.
yeah, I'll confirm. I'll confirm.
All right.
If not this week, then
All
definitely
right.
the
Yeah,
following week.
yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Cool.
confirm
All right.
after.
Cheers.